I'm an ontological leadership coach for business owners and execs. And that really is about changing not just what you're doing, but transforming who you're being so that you can reinvent yourself as a person to address the challenges that are new that you're facing now. Typically, people find themselves at crossroads in their careers and businesses where they either want to work more on the business rather than in the business, right? They've grown the business to a certain size and it's just at a point where they would like more time to spend with family or other projects. So they're looking for freedom, for more fulfillment, and also for financial independence often. So either it's working more on the business or it's a significant change in their corporate career. Or alternatively, people are looking to exit the business that they've built. They are usually responsible for various people, bigger budgets, etc. And also have built the last 20 years, have built their family lives, home, and they've arrived at something that usually on the outside looks really awesome, looks really successful. And at the same time, usually this kind of winning strategy that's helped them to get to that point is exactly the limiting factor in getting to the next level. And what I find problematic about some of the coaching industry is that it tends to address these challenging points by way of giving more how-tos and strategies and tactics, and that actually doesn't create lasting change. It doesn't actually often create the results that are necessary because the person is still the kind of person that brought them to this point, as opposed to the next version of themselves that is required to create more joy in what they're doing or lightness. I find a lot of businessmen have this massive burden on their shoulders to provide for families, to pay the payroll for everyone. And it's not just for money anymore, right? Usually what drives this first stage of creating a kingdom, a business, is financial stability and providing for family and really fulfilling what the world is expecting of men. And my people usually are at a point where they've done all that and now there's some space for something new. I think it's an important thing to recognize that usually people have kind of an island A where they're not so happy, and there's an island B where there's something better than what they currently have. And there are many different boats and ways to get to island B, and coaching in particular in an ontological way or NLP way is just one of those ways you can get there. I think what's super powerful about those approaches and methodologies specifically though is that it helps to create less of a doing change, so when we're just altering what we're doing, we're creating change. It comes to a point where we can only be so productive. We can only use our times to that point. And changing or tweaking something a little bit isn't actually going to get a complete reinvention, a complete transformation. And transformation really is about altering your entire way of being to have a different experience and create something, most importantly, that you didn't believe yet was possible. We have all heard this phrase that what got you here won't get you there, right? And it's really, really true because we unknowingly, to most of us, we have a winning strategy, as Tracy Goss would call it. And that is really the fundamental belief of how we operate, why we do what we do in order to create everything around us. So naturally, people wonder, okay, so how do we do this? How is coaching really going to help me to get to this? All sounds great. I want to reinvent myself. I want to step up my leadership game. Now, how do we do it, right? And I think especially when it comes to things like coaching, that can be hard to explain and much, much better to experience. Because usually people have gotten this far without any help, it's really important that when you're considering hiring help from the outside, whatever modality that may be, that you really, really click with the person. You want to have conversations where you leave them and think, that felt really good, that was giving me so much value and new insights that I couldn't have gotten to by myself. And I often recommend that people, have at least a couple of conversations with different people. And that's why I do always take the time to have in-depth, real, no demo, no sales pitch, just deep, powerful conversations around the things that people would like to create first. So if that's something you're considering, please, by all means, reach out and through my website, through email, and let's just book that time in.